Welcome to the Sister Mentors podcast. Sister Mentors has been nurturing the next generation of women of color leaders for 25 years. Our work centers around the needs and dreams of women and girls of color in the face of deep-seated institutional inequities found in the educational system. The lives of over 100 women and girls of color have been changed by Sister Mentors. These women and girls have evolved in astounding ways, and with the help of Sister Mentors, they are on their way to earning higher education degrees, particularly PhDs. On this podcast, I will speak to some of the mentors and mentees about their lives and educational journeys. These women and girls will tell their moving stories of who they are, where they come from, and how Sister Mentors was instrumental in keeping them on their educational paths. This episode is dedicated to exploring the relationship between the mentor and mentee. Let's meet Tihitina Dagnachew and her mentor, Treda Grayson. When the pair initially met, they bonded over their love of sciences. The two soon found many other similarities, and Treda has continued to help nurture Tihitina for the past 5 years. They now consider each other family. I am your host, Kahmeela Adams. Thanks for joining me as we celebrate the bold past and fierce future of Sister Mentors here on the Sister Mentors podcast. Tihitina and Treda, welcome to the Sister Mentors podcast. How are you ladies doing today?
Good. Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Oh, of
Happy
course.
Pi Day.
Happy Pi Day.
3.14, yeah.
For all of those academics out there and those mathematicians and folks who just love pi both ways, happy Pi Day. So we have both of you here today because you guys have a special relationship within the Sister Mentors universe, or just in general, because you guys are mentor and mentee. And I believe you are the first pair that we've had on this podcast to talk about your relationship within Sister Mentors and like how it has grown and so on and so forth. So so let's first of all, I guess, how long have you two been mentor and mentee?
Wow.
I believe we had been paired when I was, finishing up middle school or starting somewhere between the cusp of
Sounds about right.
ending middle school and starting high school, I believe.
Yeah, because we were definitely paired together all the way through high school, and
Yeah.
just as you were going to.
So I believe it was like at least 4 years. So I had joined Sister Mentors when I was 12 years old, and in 7th grade. So it's a really crazy thought how I've been in the program for half my life, and
Right.
Treda knew me half my life as well. So thinking about it along those lines is it's definitely something.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I feel like I've been in it like a quarter of mine, so.
Well, it's amazing to have that kind of a bond and also just a long-lasting and positive relationship with an organization and with a group of other women. Um, so was there anything special about your first meeting? Anything unique that you recall?
So I believe we were paired because I was interested in marine biology, and I think Treda was. Were you studying marine biology as well? Is that correct, Treda?
Yeah. I was in an environmental science program, but all the work I was doing was marine science. So yeah.
Yeah, so we were sort of paired because of that commonality we had. And even though my interest in marine biology was short-lived, I believe our pairing was definitely a match made in heaven, I would say.
I think one thing, our family structure, she's the oldest sibling, as am I. So it's just my sister and I. So we would always talk about that a little bit, like you are the role model for your sibling or siblings, and yet also sometimes the caregiver, or you're watching over them, and you want to do a great job to be, to show them that they can do the same. So we connected on that. We connected on the science, aspects of things. And then I don't know. Our personalities they just match. I joined Sister Mentors around maybe like 2011, somewhere thereabouts. That sounds about right. And so I'd had maybe one, if not two, mentees prior to that time. And, like I would be paired with a mentee that I'd work with for a little bit of time, but then they might rotate off to someone else, or, we were kind of shuffling. And it wasn't really until I got to Tihitina and one other mentee where I had the two of them like almost every single mentoring session and beyond. So yeah, I've been in Sister Mentors when I came into the program at a critical time in my journey, where I was at one institution and I was going to defense and like the bottom fell out. And
oh no!
It was a very tumultuous time, very stressful, and I stayed in Sister Mentors and helped keep me grounded and lifted, and given me the resolve to continue, and even moving institutions to a new institution where I ended up finishing. And then in the midst of all of that, I'm supposed to be strong and supposed to be pursuing this degree, and then mentoring young women to show them, that they can do it too. And I'm like, I don't know, I can do this. But it was hard. But one of the things I took from my pairing and my mentoring with Tihitina is, I was like, I can't fail her. I'm an example for her. And so that gave me some of that resolve to keep going when I'm like, I can walk away from this at any point. I don't need this stress. I don't need any of this. My life is fine. But knowing that I was representing something that she could do, that she could achieve, like that's one of the things that
happened. And did you know any of that at the time, Tihitina, that she was struggling with, that Treda was struggling with her own?
I didn't actually, but later on, when I found out about that, I was really surprised, because during our mentoring sessions, I would go to Treda whenever I had any problems or issues or anything, and she was like that that rock for me that I could always lean on, that I could go to for help. So having her, especially as being a young girl of color who was, developing, going through school, it was, that mentoring that I got from Treda was definitely foundational, especially as I was developing. So I was really, I'm always grateful for Treda. I'm still grateful for, how she helped me, go through my schooling and as I was growing up. So I was very appreciative.
Our relationship goes beyond just the two of us. It extends to our family. So I know and met her parents and just love them instantly. She's met my husband and my son, and I remember at the graduation ceremony when I had finally finished my PhD and was being recognized that year. Tihitina's mother just held my son, and because that was 2019, so he was only maybe 2, 3, somewhere around there. So he was still small, mobile but small, and just and one time before we had an event when he was in the stroller, and she just doted out over him, and just those things, because family means a lot to both of us. So we have a lot of the same values and passions that make our relationship.
Yeah, and even now, I mean, my mom still asks about Treda, about how her family's doing, and then Treda would send us, Christmas cards. So our relationship has definitely evolved to something more than just me and her and Sister Mentors. I mean, even Treda had attended my high school graduation ceremony, and it was very important for me to have her there, just as important as it was for my parents to be there, because Treda was with me throughout my educational journey. She helped me see that I had done my college application. She had written letters of recommendation for me. She helped me with my college essays. So she was definitely a critical part of my educational journey. And I was, very grateful to have her to have her at my high school graduation.
And I think I cried as much or more than her parents did. Tears of joy.
I mean, you both have worked so hard to that point and, continuing to do so. Were they weekly meetings that you guys would have, or how often did you get together?
We had structured monthly meetings. So that's when all the mentors and all of the mentees would meet on one Saturday of the month. And then, if you wanted to meet with your mentee outside of that, whether it's in person or additional phone calls or Zoom calls or whatever, you could do that as well. And like during the monthly sessions, I mean, yes, we would definitely talk about academics and, what are your grades looking like? How your class is going? Your study habits? What you have a big project coming up? What's going on? How are you going to prepare for it? All those things. But then we check in. How's life at home? How are you doing? Are you doing extracurricular activities? How is that? If you're not, well, you maybe want to get into something? Are you exercising? How's your mental health? All of those things, like we check and we talk about the whole person, not just grades. Yes, we talk a lot about grades because it's important, but to be the full person, to present yourself as that full package, you need to talk about.
I think that's something and everybody can benefit from at any age, no matter what.
Yeah, and even every semester, during mentoring, mentees would actually we would write down our goals, personal academic goals, and I would share them with Treda. And every month when we would have mentoring, she would ask me for updates, like how I was doing with my goals, what have I been doing to implement them, just checking in like every month. And this was also very helpful because I learned how to be accountable. And I was never one to come up with goals, but writing them down and having Treda check in with me, and even helping me coming up with strategies, suggestions on how I can achieve my goals. She was really helpful, and I was able to be more disciplined and accountable, which as someone growing up are important skills and habits to form.
Yeah, definitely.
And even after she went to college, we'd check in with her periodically. Excuse me, how you doing? When she would come home, she would even come to some of the sessions. Actually, both of us, after we finished our programs, we not only kept our relationship intact through what we built at SisterMentors, but we also then came back to the program. I stayed even after I finished my degree. I stayed with the program in terms of mentoring because I had another high school student who was going through, and I wanted to stick with her from the beginning to the end until she graduated. She graduated last year, but I still stay involved in terms of the alumni group, just to keep the women of SisterMentors still in touch and to give back to the program.
And Tihitina, how has Treda impacted your life as a young woman of color?
Oh wow! I mean, how has she not impacted my life, right? I mean, she was such a role model, and she was one of the first women of color doctoral candidates I'd ever met. So I was just in complete awe that this incredibly intelligent woman was my mentor. And she just inspired me to do well and to succeed because I aspired to be like her. And the incredible thing is that I didn't know about her struggles or at least the extent of the obstacles that she had to go through in her doctoral journey. All the while working a full-time job and raising a family. So I mean, she's a rock star, and besides my parents, she's also like my biggest cheerleader. I remember that every time I come to mentoring with my grade report, I would always, preface it by saying, oh, Treda, I didn't get the grades that I wanted. I'm so sorry that I failed. And then she would take a look at my grades and, she would see like A's and B's. And I would get so upset with the B's, and I would just talk myself down the whole time, and just say how I wasn't smart enough. And Trita would always, she would always, let me know, like, stop being so hard on yourself. You're doing so well. And I'll always be grateful, to her for that, because as a young girl of color, where I have to prove my intelligence, prove my capability, and sometimes I would even compare myself to other students. And I would see these B's as a failure, whereas, Trita would see them as the opposite. And, she taught me to give myself grace and, to not be so hard on myself. And so, as I get older, there will be other people that will give me a hard time. And, Trita had taught me that I shouldn't be one of them. And so, I'll always be grateful for her, because she's had such a great impact on my life. Like, I'm just so grateful and so thankful for her.
Treda, how does that make you feel, knowing that you are a rock star in this young woman's eyes, and just knowing that like your influence is just hovering around her and it's just affecting her throughout the rest of her life, her career?
Yeah, I'm kind of speechless. It's like you help, but you don't really know the impact that you have on someone. I was just doing what I know she needed to have, and I was also instilled this way to this day. I'm harder on myself than anyone else could ever be, and so I know what it's like to I need all A's, and you get that B, and it's like your whole world crumbles, and it's not really that. It's not really that serious. I mean, the grades are important, but knowing that you accomplished something hard, and you got to be like in an AP class, like a really advanced class, like that's a win. But in terms of being a rock star, I'm just doing what I do, and it's nice to know that you do, and that I have an impact on her, a positive impact, and that I hope she takes that impact the way that she feels, and will give that to someone else who needs it as well.
That's awesome. And Treda, how has Tihitina impacted you in your life as a professional woman of color?
It's what keeps me going. A lot of, yes, my day-to-day job, I'm doing environmental work, but the bigger aspect of what I do is to mentor and be that sounding board and that guide for that generation that comes after me. And just hearing from her, being able to guide her through the process, I'm like, okay, I can do this for others, because I don't ever want to be that person that makes it to a certain point and forgets what it's like to be a few years back, and trying to get through doors and open windows and all of those things. And so I'm here to open those doors, pull up those windows, put down the pavement for the path. That's what I do. That's what drives me. And so just knowing that I've done that for her, it makes me know that the struggles that I went through and that I go through occasionally now are all worth it.
And what advice do each of you have for other mentors and mentees, so that they too can have a meaningful relationship as yours?
I would say for mentees, I would say, be open with your mentors, because your mentor is there, to help you and guide you, through not just school, but also through life. And your mentor, she's not going to judge you or criticize you, so don't be afraid to open up and be vulnerable. And for mentors, I guess I would advise them to to be patient with their mentees, because I know that some mentees might be a bit reserved and closed off in the beginning. So I would say give your mentee some time to open up, and the more time you get to spend with them, and build that foundation of trust, your mentee will open up, and will open up in their own time, and they will definitely appreciate that they weren't pushed.
Did you have Did it take you a while to open up and with Treda?
Yes, so I was a bit reserved. I was a bit reserved in the beginning. Um, but what makes our relationship special is the trust that we've established. Because it was from that foundation of trust that I was able to have open and honest discussions about school and about other personal things with Trita. Um, and I guess also having that one-on-one mentor-mentee relationship that is so unique to Sister Mentors was also crucial in getting me to open up more, because we were able to cultivate like a close relationship, and cultivate this foundation of trust, which is important, especially for a young girl of color who is developing in herself and needs that guidance and support.
I would agree, and I mean, for me, I think on both sides, I think the mentee and the mentor, don't be afraid to be yourself and share. One of the things that sometimes you're in a mentor mentee relationship, and it's just like the mentor is, I'm here to take care of you and help you, and they're like a figure. They're not seen as a person, and so I think being able to kind of share some of my experiences and some of my life lessons, and hey, I'm real. I feel emotions. I have times when I struggle with classes or things like that. To connect with the mentee and let them know I'm real too. And so again, Tihitina is right. Building that trust is so important, and starting off with that and allowing that to grow will only make that mentoring relationship better and stronger.
Both of you, what do you think that makes Sister Mentors so much different than any other programs or mentor programs, or what, at least like what holds it, what gives it that special place in your heart and in your life?
I would say, I guess, going back to, having that long term relationship with your mentor, because as when I joined in middle school, and when I was paired with Trita, we had that 4+ years of that personal relationship. And like I said, cultivating that foundation of trust. Being able to open up, because like Trita knows a lot about me, and it was being open and vulnerable that we were able to have robust conversations, and not just about academics and school, but also things outside of school, like personal things, what we liked, things that we were able to find commonality in. And so I guess that the uniqueness of that mentor-mentee relationship in Sister Mentors that you don't really find in any other mentoring programs is definitely unique, and definitely critical, in when you're mentoring and guiding a young girl of color.
And I agree with that. And I think also, I think the unique part of Sister Mentors is, while the women of Sister Mentors are mentoring the young girls and checking in with them on their goals, helping them set goals and revisit those goals and talk through, well, if you didn't reach them, why or why not? What can I do to help? The same way we have that mentoring with the young girls, the women of Sister Mentors also have that. So we meet monthly as well, and we would talk about, we set goals for every meeting, like what I want to accomplish. I don't know, I want to accomplish writing this one chapter by the next meeting, and you come in and you report out, and if you did it, what went well. If you didn't, well, what were some of the things that happened? Or if something happened, how can we strategize, helping you overcome that obstacle? So it not only were we supporting each other, we were supporting the young girls. So I think kind of doing it in tandem really makes the program unique.
Yeah, and I guess also the unique thing is that Sister Mentors is a community. I mean, yes, a mentor has a mentee has a mentor, but we're also able to reach out to other mentors. So even though I had Trita as my mentor, I could go to another mentor if I needed help with anything, if I needed help or like tutoring in a specific subject. And I remember one instance when I was in the midst of working on my college applications. There were a group of mentors who were helping me, with my essays. So you can imagine this powerhouse of like 4 or 5 mentors, helping me with my essays, how to make it more, compelling, how to make it more persuasive. So it definitely is like a community, a family, actually.
That's amazing. Tihitina, do you have any plans to become a mentor? Or have you done so in any other, in just like an unofficial capacity? Have you taken someone under your wing?
I wouldn't say I had specifically taken someone under my wing, but I would say that, Sister Mentors had, not only impacted me, but my family as well. And so, what me and my parents learned from Sister Mentors was very valuable that I was able to apply what I learned, about college from, and, my experiences to my 2 younger brothers. And I'm the oldest of 2 younger brothers, so I was like this role model for them. And I was able to help them and guide them when they were in high school. So they learned to take the most challenging classes. They learned about the college application
Mm-hmm.
process. How to that they need to apply early for financial aid. And so now I'm proud to say that I have one brother who is graduating this year from Rice
Congrats.
University, with a degree in mechanical
Congrats.
engineering. And
Wow.
Oh my
now my
God.
youngest brother is in his second year at Carnegie Mellon University, studying statistics and machine learning. So I'm very proud of both of them. That I was able to be this sort of role model for them, and it's
Yeah.
all thanks to Sister Mentors that I'm equipped with all of this valuable information that I was able to pass on, and that I actually continue to pass on to family and family friends who are starting to think about college. And because as people of color and especially being immigrants, our parents don't know about the whole college application process and how that works. So their kids are left to get this information on their own, and a lot of times they don't have access to that resource. But because Sister Mentors was so crucial in helping me understand the college application process and how to prepare for college, I'm able to pass on this important information along to younger generations so that they themselves are equipped for success just as I was.
It's a ripple effect.
Yeah, yeah, ripple effect, yeah.
And Trita, I see you tearing up a little bit over there.
Yeah, because I mean, do you understand? Do you realize the legacy that you have created and the power that you have, the knowledge and the power that you have transferred to your brothers in the schools that graduated from, and the degrees? I
Tihitina,
mean,
take a lap. Like
it
you,
gives me
this is what
chills.
she's saying.
Let me
She's like,
pat myself a little bit
right.
on the back, but no, I'm
That is a major
No, you should
accomplishment
pat
and
yourself.
win for you and your family.
Yeah, yeah. It's a win for all of us.
Oh, so
It
congratulations to
is.
you and your brothers.
thank
It's
So awesome.
and what is next for you, Tihitina?
that's still in the works. So
Mhm.
I definitely do plan on going to graduate school. What I want to study is yet to be determined, but I definitely do have plans on going to graduate school and continuing my journey on of higher education.
And Trita, what are you up to these days?
Woo. Well, a few months ago, I took a new position at work, and I am supervising a team of folks that are we're providing support to public water systems of concern. So those uh, areas like Jackson,
Hmm.
Mississippi, and Flint, Michigan, and these drinking water
Yes.
emergencies. and led testing in schools and childcare facilities. So I'm leading a team of people who are providing the support that these systems need and making sure that, our children in our communities are healthy and, don't have to deal with contaminated drinking water.
Either one of you'd like to say to a brown or black girl who is hesitant about pursuing a higher education degree?
I would say, and I say this a lot, you belong in these spaces just as much as the next person. Don't let anyone tell you that you don't. The way that the systems and the structures are set up, it's designed to discourage us. But we don't have to accept that. We don't. And so, definitely you got to find your cheerleaders. You got to find the people who will support you, because they do exist. And, the sky's the limit. It really is. It really is. If there's something you want to do, there's no reason why you can't accomplish it. No.
Ditto. Keep pushing. Yes, there are going to be people who are not going to support you, but I guess also what helped me was also finding a community of, like-minded people, who, support you. I went to UVA, which is a PWI, so finding a community, community of, peers of friends definitely, definitely helped me get through those tough times.
Well, thank you both for sharing your journey with us, and for just both of you being rock stars, because I think that you both are amazing women, and I appreciate you and just commend you for all that you have done, all that you have accomplished, and all that I am sure that you will keep on accomplishing.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's so good to see you again, Treda.
Likewise.
She's still my mentor, even, after graduating high school, after
Always.
Being out of college for a couple of years, she's still my mentor.
Always. I will always be your mentor. Always.
For more information on Sister Mentors, a project of EduSeed, please visit SisterMentors.org. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn as Sister Mentors. Please subscribe, rate, and review the show wherever you get your podcasts, and don't be afraid to share. This podcast was produced by Rugged Angel Productions for Sister Mentors.